Italy's most active volcano, Mount Etna, once again erupted, billowing a thick plume of smoke and ash into the Sicilian sky. Scientists have warned aviation authorities of a potential risk for air travel.
Off the eastern coast of Sicily, a fisherman noticed something deeply wrong. The sea was calm, no wind, no waves, yet his boat lurched sideways as if something massive had just shifted beneath the water. He had no way of knowing it, but 12 kilometers below his hull, the foundation of Europe's most powerful volcano was moving. Not erupting, not shaking, just sliding, silently. And scientists say what is happening beneath Mount Etna right now may be the most dangerous geological event unfolding anywhere on Earth. Because Etna is not just a volcano, it is a 140 billion ton structure sliding toward the Mediterranean Sea, and gravity, not magma, is pulling the trigger. To understand why that is so alarming, you need to know about a discovery that changed everything volcanologists thought they understood about how mountains fall apart. In 2016, a German research team led by geologist Dr. Morelia Urlaub installed something that had never been done before: a network of 5 precision acoustic transponders on the seafloor off Etna's eastern coast. Every 90 minutes, these devices pinged the ocean floor and measured tiny changes in distance with centimeter-level precision. For 15 months, they mapped Etna's submarine underbelly in real time. What they found in May 2017 stopped the team cold. Over just 8 days, the sensors recorded a seaward slip of 4 centimeters along an offshore fault, plus nearly a centimeter of subsidence. That might sound small, but 4 centimeters across a volcanic flank of this scale carries a seismic energy equivalent to a magnitude 4.3 to 5.3 earthquake. The critical detail? There was no earthquake, no tremors, no warning signals of any kind. The mountain had moved in complete silence. Geophysicist Felix Norman calls it a complete game changer. We have always assumed that volcanoes fail because of magma pressure from within, he said. What we are seeing here is a volcano destroying itself from the bottom up. That phrase, from the bottom up, matters enormously because it exposes a flaw in how we monitor volcanic hazards worldwide. Traditional volcano monitoring focuses on the summit: magma chamber inflation, gas emissions, summit tremors. But Etna's offshore data reveals that the real danger zone is far below the waterline, along a fault system extending more than 30 kilometers out to sea. The southeastern flank is sliding as a coherent block toward the Ionian Sea, and the movement is actually faster the farther you get from the magma chambers, the exact opposite of what standard volcanic behavior models predict. This is gravity pulling an entire mountainside into the ocean, one silent centimeter at a time. Published geodetic research, including GPS networks and satellite radar data, documents persistent seaward motion across Etna's eastern flank. Rates vary by sector, but faster zones register movement of several centimeters per year, and the trend has continued with no sign of stabilizing. Satellite radar shows the entire southeastern slope deforming coherently seaward, and Etna's recent eruptive episodes, including significant activity in early 2025 when a fissure near Bocca Nuova produced multiple lava branches over a 3-week period, each correlate with measurable upticks in flank displacement below the waterline. The volcano is not just erupting more, it is pulling itself apart with every eruption. This is not a new pattern in Etna's geological memory, it is an ancient one, and that is precisely what makes the present moment so unsettling. Geologists mapping the Sicilian seafloor have identified evidence of at least one massive prehistoric flank collapse occurring approximately 7,600 years ago. That event carved the Valle del Bove, the enormous horseshoe-shaped depression visible today on Etna's eastern slope. Landslide deposits from that single prehistoric event extend 25 kilometers underwater, with a volume equivalent to roughly 500 Empire State Buildings. Tsunami traces from the collapse have been found on coastlines across the eastern Mediterranean. Deep-sea core samples drilled from Etna's submarine flanks reveal layers of rubble and debris up to 300 meters thick, mixed with ancient soils, river sediment, and even fossilized tree trunks, the remains of entire landscapes carried to the ocean floor in moments. Dr. John Murray of the Open University calls the prospect of catastrophic flank failure absolutely devastating. Dr. Urlaub herself has issued a direct warning. We cannot exclude flank movement evolving into catastrophic collapse. And the Italian National Institute of Geophysics has declared that Etna's seaward slippage poses a much greater hazard than previously thought. Dr. Julia Crummy of the British Geological Survey has spent years dating these prehistoric collapse layers using paleomagnetic signatures and ash chronologies. Her findings are sobering. Smaller submarine landslides around Etna occur roughly once every 1,000 years, but the mountain's catastrophic megacollapses follow a longer, darker rhythm. The last comparable event was 7,600 years ago. The one before that, 15,000 years ago. In geological terms, Etna is approaching the window for another full-scale failure. And the period preceding that collapse 7,600 years ago was marked by increasingly violent eruptions, a pattern that looks uncomfortably familiar to what Etna has produced over the last 150 years. If the flank were to fail catastrophically, the scale of destruction would be almost impossible to process. Computer modeling led by geophysicist Dr. Raphael Paris simulates what a full-scale flank collapse would generate. An initial wave reaching 250 meters in height, racing toward the Ionian shoreline at over 400 kilometers per hour. Within 10 minutes, a wall of water 50 meters high would hit Catania. Within 30 minutes, 20-meter waves would reach the coasts of Greece and Libya. Even a partial collapse, just 10 to 20% of the sliding rock mass, would still send 40-meter tsunamis into eastern Sicily. That smaller scenario alone would rank among the worst natural disasters in European history, threatening up to 250,000 lives and causing hundreds of billions in economic damage. Over 20 million people across 6 nations live along the coastlines that would be engulfed within the first hour. What many people don't realize is that a Mediterranean tsunami warning system does exist. The NEAMTWS, the Northeast Atlantic, Mediterranean and Connected Seas Tsunami Warning Framework, is operational, and Italy's National Tsunami Alert Center at INGV has been running since 2013. But having a warning system and being able to use it in time are two very different things. The submarine sensors currently monitoring Etna's flank movement are not yet integrated into a real-time hazard alert network. Detection and warning are not the same thing. And for a collapse that could deliver waves in under 10 minutes, the gap between those two things is measured in lives. Right now, 1 million people live directly on Etna's slopes, many in communities sitting above the active fault zone. Densely populated towns like Zaffarana, Viale Grande and Giare lie within the highest risk collapse corridors. Catania, Sicily's second largest city, sits 30 kilometers south of the most geologically unstable terrain, with over 300,000 residents and critical infrastructure that would be directly in the tsunami's path. The single main evacuation route for much of this population is a narrow mountain road that winds directly through Etna's active eastern flank. A significant eruption can make it impassable in hours. Scientists are responding. German and Italian teams are expanding submarine monitoring networks. GPS stations, seismometers, and satellite sensors are all pointed at Etna around the clock, searching for patterns that might serve as early warning. Volcanic gas emissions are tracked for correlations with fault activity. Satellite imaging scans for new surface fractures and thermal anomalies. Coastal communities are beginning to integrate flank collapse scenarios into their evacuation planning. But the hardest truth in all of this is one that Dr. Urlaub states plainly. We just have to keep an eye on Etna's flank and how it is moving. Because unlike earthquakes, which often announce themselves with foreshocks, or eruptions, which typically build with detectable precursors, a flank collapse can transition from slow creep to catastrophic failure with almost no warning at all. The mountain moves silently, and then, one day, it may not stop. What Etna forces us to confront is not just a local hazard, it is a mirror. The same gravitational forces, the same offshore fault structures, the same slow, silent instability documented here also exist at coastal volcanoes from Vesuvius to Kilauea to Fuji. Catastrophic flank collapses occur globally about 4 times per century. Most happen without any eruption preceding them. We think of solid ground as permanent. Etna's data says otherwise. The fisherman felt the ocean floor shift beneath him and didn't know what it meant. We do. And what we choose to do with that knowledge, how seriously we fund monitoring, how honestly we communicate risk, how urgently we prepare communities, will determine whether the next event in this story is a scientific paper or a headline that changes history. Drop a comment below. Do you think the governments bordering the Mediterranean are taking this threat seriously enough? And subscribe for continuing coverage as scientists work to close the gap between what we can detect and what we can actually survive.